All right, guys, we just rolled in a new project. We got the Hyundai HX145, and we even had to bring the little 304. Gonna dig a crawl space for a new house. Got the big bucket for the machine. Let's see how this works out. All right, my help's on the ball this morning. I wanted to do something real quick. So you just got that unchaining both machines, didn't you?
I got one boomer to go. But
Speed boomers on this one.
All the other ones suck.
Well, I didn't even have to ask the question. But
here, I've got the mark on my neck.
You heard?
Right there.
What's that from? The other ones?
The boomers. That
oh my goodness.
Came unlocked and bam.
So you guys, I got a bunch of videos on these on my channel. You go back and find them. Steve from Speedbinders hooked me up with these. We absolutely love them. He just sent me a new hat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey Steve, it's cold outside, man.
he just gave me a nice new leather coat.
I kind of.
But
that's why I mentioned it.
Well, yeah, but we need more speed boomers for the other trailer. But no,
boy, that'd be great. Would be awesome.
All seriousness, we've been using these since probably about November. What is today? Middle of April.
Yep.
And haven't had any problems with any of them. They're awesome. We love them, and appreciate everything Steve's done for me too. I'm not going to promote a product if I don't believe in it, and we
I can
believe
put
in
it to you this way: 4 speed on the big hoe, 30 seconds to get them undone. 4 standard ratchet style on the small hoe, and it's been about 4 minutes and I've got one to go.
And you hurt yourself.
And it smacked me in the knee.
So, anyways, speedbinders.com, check them out, guys. We've had them for a while. We love them. They're awesome. We're going to get this machine unloaded and get going. Now, one thing I will say about the Hyundai this morning, we are in the middle of town. I don't know, see all the houses? That hints middle of town. And they're pretty particular about their streets around here. If I would have brought the Volvo in, I probably would have been either backing this trailer off the road and trying to unload it in the grass, or we would have had to bring plywood or some mats or something to get off this trailer. But this one here has the rubber tracks on it, steel rubber pads, so we don't have to worry about it. We're just going to track this bugger off and go for it. All right, enough yakking, to work we go. Man, the sun's out this morning, but it is chilly. It's like, I don't know, 30 degrees, which is pretty cold for around here in the middle of April. Whew, that old girl fired right up. All right, get this jewel unloaded. Again, since we're thanking people this morning, Hyundai, Rico equipment, it has been awesome demoing this machine. I have learned a lot. I got some it's been able to jump back and forth between this one and the other one. It's really been cool to see the little nuances and little differences between the machines. Yeah, they're both excavators, they both dig and swing dirt, and they both do it in the same physical motions, but there's a lot of differences between the machines. There really is. So being able to jump back and forth between one to the other, by how one operates is fresh in your mind, you can really tell the differences in where one excels over the other. So pretty cool opportunity. I love the camera on this thing, man. It's so much clearer than the other one. Tracking on asphalt, no problem today, boys. Guess I better not take out the building permit sign. That probably wouldn't go over real well. All right, I'm gonna swing around here, switch buckets, then I'll kind of show you. We got a maze, an absolute maze of snakes over there. Pretty sure we're not all going to make it through the day. I'm going to swing around, get set up, and I'll show you what we got. One thing I will say it's quite a bit different than the Volvo is the Volvo has an integrated system in it to take the bucket on and off. This one here is more of an add-on style, and I'm sorry, I know that beeping's annoying, but I think that's the whole purpose of it. This works great. It's just not quite as clean as look the first time putting this bucket on the machine. This bucket's about all the old 120 wants to handle. I have not ran this bucket on the 140, but it'll be interesting to see how this machine does with it. Okay, nothing you this morning. That's right. All right, let's check and make sure we're engaged. All right, it's time to dig some dirt. So here's a quick little plan. We got a house, garage, crawl space here. We're gonna excavate out about 16, 18 inches, and we're gonna come back and dig a footer around the edge. We're gonna toss all the dirt over to the side. Dennis has got his little New Holland skid steer here. He's gonna try to keep up with the old Hyundai. We'll see what he's got.
Got the same homeowner.
You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What do you think of my new paint?
I like it.
I like it too.
I like it, yeah.
Looks good on your job site.
Now if you can just keep it on all tracks.
That was not me, that was Brett Lutchering who flipped it over. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's start digging. Give you guys an idea of my thought process. That's the back line of the crawl space. We got it cut on dug on grade down through there this morning. I'm gonna sneak up in here now where I can reach and swing this dirt behind me, trying to minimize the mess. We got 4 or 5 little offsets here we got to dig around. I know it's hard to see in the ground, but there's paint lines out there, and all the stakes represent offsets. So back to digging. Guys, kind of working our way around here. There used to be, this used to be home of the old middle school, and I got about 2 or 3 feet of dirt on this thing, and then it turns into absolute rubbish down there. But I will have to say it is compacted rather nicely, and it is pretty good dirt here on top. But I'm digging my way around the perimeter here, and then we'll come back. I think I can sit there in the middle and hog that whole middle out pretty quick. I'm pretty impressed with the way the 145 is handling this 5-foot bucket. It is almost identical in balance to the 120 in this bucket. Like over the front and over the back, you're pretty much hydraulically limited. Over the side, you can reach about 85 to 90% of the way out, and it eventually gets off balance. I'll find my mark here real quick. But it's doing really well. All right, let me figure out where I'm at here so we dig the right line.
All right, guys. So Mike is hogging out the middle here. You can kind of see this shape coming together. Got the outer rectangle. Now he's got to pull out all that dirt out of the middle. We've got the skid steer over here taking the loose dirt that Mike's dumping on the edge of the pile and putting it on top of the pile so we can retain this topsoil. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so you can see behind me here, this thing is really starting to take shape, and we've got a little bit more work to do to get to that other corner that you can see over there. So Mike is still working on hogging out all of this center portion here. We're checking grade along the way, and work continues. We will be back. Stay tuned. You'll see it towards the end of the finished product here. Look at that. Nice, dude. Let's take out all the walls in that here. Yes. Off the bottom. Yes. You build a frame around it. Don't even have to. Nope.
Guys, we're closing in on getting the last little bit of dirt out of this crawl space. Dennis over there is an absolute wild man on the little skid steer. But a couple things, working around all these stakes they've got out here that marks all the offsets in this house. This high resolution camera, whenever I go to move around, really is nice because I can really see what's behind me and what I'm getting ready to run over. One thing that's nice, if I move a little bit, the tracks and the blades show up so well, so you can actually see, you're not guessing about anything. You pretty much know what you're getting ready to get into. The other thing that has been surprisingly super handy the last two jobs is that little water bubble right there that tells you what your level is. That is a way handier feature than I ever anticipated. As far as how the machine's handling the larger bucket, it's doing great. It's definitely a little bit off balance over the side, but I fully expected to be. I'd be more surprised if it wasn't. I have not put this bucket on the 140, so I don't know what a direct comparison it would be, but I can tell you it's almost identical in balance to what the 120 is with this bucket. It's very, very, very similar, which is all you could really ask for out of one of these machines. That's what I'm used to. I've got a lot of hours on the 120 in this bucket. We've dug a lot of basements together. Very, very similar feel as far as stability goes. I'm gonna get this last little bit of dirt out here. We're probably gonna switch over machines and actually dig the footers with the 304 just because I think it's gonna be easier. And it's here, so this dirt is hard. They must have compacted the crap out of this back in the day when they put it in here. All right, guys, we got the crawl space all dug out. It's not perfect, but we're gonna have a machine down in there to we gotta dig a footer along the edge now. Basically, they're stretching their strings back up. I think I only took out one stake, so that was pretty good.
Steak and a half.
Steak and a half, he says. But couple of you guys have asked how the white stick works, so I figured I'd show you real quick what we got just a second. So this is a Tapcon RL H4C rotating laser. It does do slopes. Basically, if you turn this on, it'll self-level. There's a laser down inside there, and it shines up on a reflective light up there. See it spinning? This shoots out a level laser beam. I don't know what the exact spec on this one is. I think it goes out like 300 feet. You got the receiver, which receives it. So solid line is level, fast beep is high, slow beep is low.
And one more point to make. Right here on your webbing, you want to make sure that your work area that you're checking is not behind one of these webs, so that you don't have a block.
Pretty narrow area, but yeah, true. So, but that's basically the gist of how that little booger works. I don't use the slope option a whole lot. I usually just do the math over distance, but you can do it if you want to. So we're gonna get this staked out and dig us some footers. I don't know who took out your stake.
Huh?
I don't know who took your stake out.
I come here in the middle of the night and took it.
I guarantee it was. It wasn't that big excavator over there. I can promise you that.
Well, I might beg the difference.
I'm blaming a stranger.
I like him.
I don't know. It might have been that skid steer that fell off the edge there a minute ago.
That's a good possibility right there.
We missed that on video, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Goddamn
I'm
wall.
glad you didn't have that on video.
We'll see if you can paint any straighter than man behind the scenes.
I'm just confirming. Anything that has a string on it, we can mark.
Yes.
Correct? Oh, looky there. Man with a stick.
I'm high tech here, baby.
Gonna be a handicap competition now.
Yes, it is.
Uh-oh. Well, if all else fails, you can get a job as a locator.
Oh, yeah? Oop, I hit the dirt.
You're looking good. Everybody does this different. We actually mark the foundation wall, and then we'll offset dig a little bit. I don't know, it's about 6 1/2 dozen. Yeah, we've done it both ways. We always find out to work best because we know that's the actual physical wall. All right, guys, there it is. We got it all painted off, staked off. We're gonna switch machines and start digging our footer around there. So I'll let the fun begin, round 2. Oh, still an annoying beeper. That'll work. All right, I don't know if you guys can see out there, I got an orange line on my bucket. It was just a 6-inch offset from there. So I'll basically get that line lined up with the orange paint mark. That should give us our offset we need. We're gonna dig, this is gonna be a 2-foot wide, it's gonna be a 2-foot wide footer. So we're gonna dig a 3-foot wide trench because we're gonna put former drain down here. Man, that dirt is hard. Hard dirt. Got the laser set up, get ourselves on grade here. Brought my 3-foot bucket with teeth on it. We're not going back after it, I'll tell you that. Alright guys, I'm going to jump in here on the voiceover real quick and explain a few things. Unfortunately, the priority of running a business and getting the job done took precedence over recording. I try to do the best I can every single job, every single situation to get the best video I can for you guys and the best audio and all the best angles and all the good stuff. But most of you guys recognize this and appreciate it, but YouTube is a hobby for me. And sometimes the reality of running a business and what actually pays the bills has to come first. So this afternoon was just it's the busy time of year. It's the spring, everything's taken off, the phone's ringing, a lot of logistics, a lot of different things to get organized, and spend a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time organizing, and then on top of all that, you still have to get the job done. I do have a few guys like Matt here. He's actually laid off, so he's able to help me. Kleeman, full-time firefighter, he helps me on his days off. You guys have met Jerry a few times over the years, dozer operator, retired guy. Those guys all want to help me and like to help me, and I greatly appreciate that. But I kind of it kind of adds an extra layer of scheduling, because I kind of got to work around their schedules a little bit too. But for the most part, I'm a one-man band, do what I can when I can. So unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for a time lapse here at the end of the day, because I just did not have time to do what I needed to get you guys the right video. So a couple things I want to hit on real quick. The way we're digging this footer is basically this is going to get former drain around it, and we come in there, excavated that out flat, and then we're digging basically an 8-inch trench, 3 foot wide for a 2 foot wide footer and former drain. Every contractor is a little bit different. He was trying to save a little bit of money on rock, so that's kind of why we went that route. It's kind of 6 1, half dozen of the other. It is a little bit more difficult to dig, but in the long run, it does work out better for what he's trying to accomplish. This is a contractor I do a lot of work for, and I don't argue with these guys. They tell me what they want, and that's what I do. Dennis is a great guy. He's built a lot of houses and does great work. So the other thing I want to touch on is the Hyundai HX145 was obviously way too big of a job, or way too big a machine for this little bitty stripping job we did here. I clearly understand that I could have done it with the 304. I completely understand or agree I could have done it with the skid steer. But either one of those options would have probably been turn this into a 3/4 to a full day job, to where we showed up at 7 and we were out there by 11 on this one. And what that allows me to do is I can move this machine right down the road to the next job, the HX145 I'm talking about, and get a head start on next day's project. So I know a lot of you guys comment on here, and I completely agree with you. Well, that's not the right machine for the job. Why'd you use that machine for the job? You should have used this, you should have used that. And I can't agree with you guys, but I can't disagree with you guys is what I'm trying to say. But what you guys got to keep in mind, and I know a lot of you guys understand this, I am not picking on nobody, is there is so much more going on behind the scenes in reality than the job that's right here at hand. So why it made sense to haul this 145 into this job, I'm 45 minutes away from the house, and 15 minutes from this job back the other direction is the next job the 145 needs to go to. So it makes perfect sense. Haul it in here, get this knocked out real quick, load her back up, take her 15 minutes down the road, and bam, there we are. We got a jump start on the next day, and we're ready to go again. So we pretty much got the perimeter dug around there. The other thing you got to keep in mind, and my battery goes dead here on a time lapse, I apologize. We dug piers down through the middle, and now we're going to jump over and we're actually going to dig the footer for the garage, which you'll see here in a little bit. But whenever you're digging all these little offsets and all these little nooks and crannies, the order in which you go about digging them makes a huge difference. I don't know if you guys ever played Tetris, but you get one dug out of order, you get one block in there crooked, and it can definitely make your job a little bit more difficult than what it needs to be. So whenever you go to start doing something like this, just kind of think it through. Think about where you're throwing your dirt piles, which offsets or which little nooks, crannies, or straight stretches you're going to dig first, because it'll definitely save you a little bit of trouble if you just kind of think it out and think about your process. Kind of think 2 or 3 digs ahead. As far as where you're going to set the machine, which way it makes sense to drag your dirt to, so on and so forth. I think I mentioned it earlier, but there used to be a school on this property years ago, and they demolished the school and compacted it, and then come back in and hauled in about 2 feet of dirt on top of everything. And we did get into some of the old debris. I think they're going to do a little extra precautions with some rebar and stuff here when they dig the footers. But they compacted the crap out of this stuff. Very, very difficult digging. But they got it all. They did do a good job of getting it compacted, and it's been demolished for many a year. So I don't think it'll be an issue putting the house on here. Now we're digging these footers at 18 to 20 inches. That's our frost step around here. Most of them will be 2 foot wide. They'll be approximately 20 inches thick in concrete, and you'll see here at the end of the day, whenever we leave the job site, the grass will still be in where the garage is at. He's just trying to keep himself out of the mud here a little bit. So after he gets the footers poured, he gets the block wall laid up, he'll come back in with his little skid steer at that point and strip that last little grass out of there. And that just kind of goes back to different contractors doing stuff different ways. And just because somebody does it different than you, don't make it right, wrong, better, or worse. It's just everybody has different processes of how they go about stuff. But one last thing, I just want to mention this 304. You guys heard me have many different opinions about it, and the visibility on this thing in situations like this with an offset boom is just really horrendous. It's got plenty of power. It digs good. It does a lot of things, and overall, it's been a really good machine. But days like this really make me, I don't want to say question this thing, but it's just hard to see what you're doing there, especially if you got the boom offset to the left. So if anybody's thinking about buying one of these machines, oh, hang on here, Matt's taking us for a ride. Where are we going? Oh, yep. Oh, we gotta dig the we gotta dig the foundation drain. So the last thing we gotta do is dig the foundation drain down over the hill. Remember me talking earlier about making sure your dirt's put in the right spot? This is a prime example here. I didn't pile the dirt. The actual contractor piled it here with a skid steer, and he piled the dirt right where the foundation drains needs to go over the hill. But fortunately, we had the Hyundai here. I got the big bucket on there from the 120. Get that scooped up and out of the way and throw it back. So, but yeah, anyways, back to the 304. Great machine. Good power. Don't have the best finesse. The visibility is questionable at best. But just stuff to consider if you're interested in buying one of these machines. And a lot of you guys have commented that the tracks on this thing are wore out, shot. I agree. They are wore out. They are shot. But they've been that way for over a year and a half and 2,200 billable hours. So take that times 85 or 90, and that's the amount of revenue they've made while they are wore out. I got new tracks sitting at the house. I'll put them on there when I need to. But if this thing's still tracking around and moving, what is the point? I'm not going to change them just because they look bad, if that makes sense. I would have guessed these things would have been broke a year ago, and yet they're still going. So we got a high voltage power line and a fiber optic line to miss here outside where we're doing a little bit of hand digging. And once we get past this one here, Chris just found the fiber optic line. He shoved the shovel in right there. But pretty much once we get past it, we're done. We're heading over the hill. That's pretty much it. But this is it, guys. Here we're flying in. This is in the town of Rockport, Indiana. As you can see off in the distance, we are still on the river. Another river town, but flying in here for the finished product. This actually turned out really nice. The brick building you see just on the top of your screen there is still the administration building for the local school corporation. But about a 2,200 square foot house. Got a few offsets. The grassy area there is a porch and a garage, but the Hyundai machine did awesome. It handled that large bucket very well. Very, very, very similar balance to my 120. So definitely impressed with that. I can't say enough good things about the machine. I will do some videos kind of detailing some features I really like. Some things that I ain't not too fond of, but for the most part, been very, very pleased and very, very impressed with the machine. Again, I want to thank Hyundai North America and Rico Equipment for their help for allowing us to demo that machine. Steve from Speedbinders, him and his product have been awesome. They've treated me great. Check them out at speedbinders.com. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And keep in mind, you guys can also catch us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and we shall catch you on the next one.